Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to be having a look at mathematical operations in Excel. It's going to be fun. Let's get started. This Excel, you can download the working file from the link below. Click on it to take you to where to download it. Today we're going to look at multiplications, the math subtractions, additions, divisions. But we also have a look at all the aggregates in Excel. But this is not all the aggregate, but the basic one, the one you're going to use the most. For example, sum, average, count, max, min, SUMIF, and SUMIFS, and the difference between the two, count and COUNTIFS. And we will also have a look at other mathematical function as a form of aggregate, for example, like MAXIF and MINIF. Unfortunately, we don't really have a functions as like MAXIF or MINIF, but we'll look at the way we can bypass that to actually get what we want as a max and MINIF. Let's get started. The first one is basic mathematical operation, like addition. For example, we have cis1 and cis2, and we want to add the two together. So I would do that. We say, okay, equals, because our formula starts with equation sign, equals this cell, which is B4, plus this cell, which is C4. Then we control enter. The reason why we press control enter is to stay the active cell. To auto-populate the rest of the value, with double click at the right corner, and we have the value added for us. If we look, put the D, the last one, D40 into active mode, you can see that we are multiplying our B2 and our C2. Then for subtraction, we have sales and cost, and we want to remove our cost value from sales. We say, okay, equals our sales minus our costs. Our cost. We control enter, and we double click to fill it in. You can see that we add all of them together. For example, 19 minus 33 will give you a negative value. Then for multiplication, we do the same thing, equals our quantity multiplied by our unit price. Sorry, that was a mistake. Our quantity multiplied by our unit price, control enter, and we double click to fill it in. That is using addition, subtraction, and multiplication. But what if we want to perform an aggregate? So if we go to the mathematical functions, for example, here we have John, David, Mike, Simon, and Smith, and we want the total of all the values. So we can go to where our said that we want to add the total, and we put equals sum the value from that is from B4 to B8. Then we'll close the bracket, then control enter. And once we have one working and is active, all we need to do is we drag across to add the value for sales. This is the total quantity, this is the total sales. And if we want to find average, we exactly do equals average, the average of B4 to B8. Then we'll close the bracket, control enter, we drag it to fill the size. And for quantity, the average is 22, and for sales, the average is 147.016. What are the highest value? The highest value is the max value, is equal to the max of our quantity, close bracket, control enter, and we drag it across. So the max quantity is 55, that's the highest value, and the max is 500, and that's our highest value. What about the minimum? Because it's equal to the mean of our quantity close the bracket, Control Enter. Then we drag across. The minimum for quantity is 5 and the maximum says is 3. That is how we perform an aggregate. However, there are some aggregate that you may also need to perform such a way that, in our example, we have all our items and we have the sales value. And they ask us, okay, please can we know the most expensive item, for example? That would be the max amount. For this, we want to know everything in our item, that is the total of all our items put together. So equal to sum. We'll click on the first cell, we hold down Control Shift, down arrow. That is how to highlight the entire cells. Then we'll close it, Control Enter. The total value is 973. What about the average value? Not a problem. Equals to average. We click on the first cell, then Control Shift, down arrow, then Control Enter. So the average value is 46.33. What about the count? We say equals the count of our items. Click on the first cell, Control Shift, down arrow, close the bracket, Control Enter. The total number of items we have is 21. What about the maximum? Equals max. We click on the first cell where our value start, Control Shift, down arrow, close the bracket, Control Enter. The maximum value we have here is 99. What about the mean value? Same thing, equals mean. We click on the first value, Control Shift, down arrow, and close it and Control Enter. The minimum value we have in our data set is 3, just like you can see here. Now let's take a look at a more complex aggregate. So if we go to this aggregate, for example, we have a data set of ID, category, continent, and the amount sold. So that way, how are we going to look for a way of extracting, for example, the total sales for auto, the total sales for fruit, the total sales for electrical? Any kind of situation, we have to use a conditional if, which is SUMIF. We have SUMIF, and we also have SUMIFS. We have COUNTIF, we also have COUNTIFS. But let's start with SUMIF first. SUMIF take a single criteria, while SUMIFs takes multiple. COUNTIF takes single criteria, and COUNTIFs take multiple criteria. In our example, if we look at the total value for each of our category, and we want to get the value and put it in our total, all we need to do is say equals SUMIF. And if you look at it, we say, okay, what is the range, the criteria, and the sum range? The range is, in our case, is the category. So to get that range, we'll click on the first cell of the category, in our case B2, click on that, then Control Shift, down arrow, then we need to lock that cell so that it wouldn't move. Then we press F4, command. If you are using a laptop, some laptop F4 works, some F4 does not work, so you may have to hold down your function F4. Then the next criteria is, the next range is, what is our criteria we are looking for in our category? We are looking for I7, which is, in this example, auto parts. That command. What is the sum range? The sum range is, in our case, is our sold column. We click on the sold column, Control Shift, down arrow, then F4. Then we close our bracket, then Control Enter, and we double click to feed that in. So this way we have the total for each of our categories. What about the number of items sold? How many items were sold for example, in this auto part, to give us this value of 99997.044. We come as okay, that will be a count of the product. So equal to count if, what is the range? What do we want to count? The range we want to count is our category. Click on the first category. So order control shift, down arrow, then F4 to lock it, command. Then what is our criteria? Our criteria is I7. We'll close the bracket, control enter. Then we'll double click to fill it out, which means the total number of auto parts sold is 165, fruit 61, electrical 94. And you can see the weight is. And if I put, for example, my COUNTIF in edit mode, the formula, you can see that the COUNTIF only takes two criteria, the range and the criteria is set that we are looking for within the range. What if in a situation they give us two criteria, continent and auto? So they want to get in Africa how many auto were sold, in Asia how many beverage, in Europe how many auto parts. Then to achieve this we need COUNTIFs. If we click on Q7, we say okay, equal to COUNTIFs, the one with S. So okay, then what is criteria region? What is the first criteria? In our case, our four criteria is continent. So we click on continent. Then we say okay, control shift down arrow, we'll lock that, command. Then what is criteria 1? The criteria 1 is our 07, so which is Africa. Then we don't need to lock that because we want that to move relatively. Command. Then what is criteria range 2? The criteria range 2 is the category. So if we click on category, we'll go down, control shift down arrow, and we need to lock it. F4, command. And what is the range? The range is this. For this, there's a bit of mistake. I'm doing a COUNTIF instead of SUMIF. So let's just quickly stand that. So let's just quickly do that. So it's okay, SUMIFs, what is their sum range? Our sum range is in column D, the sold item. So we click on the first one, control shift down arrow, and we'll lock that. F4 command. What is the criteria range 1? Our criteria range 1 is our continent, which is in column C. And we click on the first one, control shift down arrow, we'll lock it, command. Then the criteria range 1 will be our continent, in our case Africa, which is 07, command. Criteria range 2 will be our category, which is in column B. We'll click on that, control shift down arrow, we'll give that a lock, command. And the criteria range 2 will be the auto part. We'll click that. Then that is our final criteria. Then we'll lock the cell and we'll control enter. We'll lock the formula rather, then we'll double click to fill it in. Which means in Africa auto part, the total was 1853.189. Now what of COUNTIF? So it's got to COUNTIFs. What is our criteria range? The first criteria range we're going to take is the continent, which is the column C. We'll click on C2, control shift down arrow, we'll lock that cell, command. And the criteria for that is our 07. Then we don't need to lock that, we want that to move relatively, command. What is the criteria range 2? Our criteria range 2 is the product category. Click that, control shift down arrow, we'll lock the cell, command. And what is the criteria? The criteria is P7. We'll lock this, we'll lock the formula. Whenever we open the bracket, we have to close the bracket, control enter. Then we double click to fill it in. Now the total for Africa auto parts is 1853.189, but the number of items is 27. And if you validate this data by just filtering each of these our value, you will find that they correspond. For example, let's take Africa auto parts. If I click on myself and filter, enable my filters, okay. For the continent, I'm only interested in Africa. And for the product, I'm only interested in auto parts. And if I close it, and if we highlight this, you can see that our sum over in my bottom right is 1853. And the count, if you look at my bottom left, is 27 of 1000 record, which is correct. Then let's remove the filter. Click OK, and let's remove the filter for our category. That's okay. So you see that our value matches what we have in our data. But there is other mathematical function that we cannot use COUNTIF for SUMIF. For example, in our case, we have category. Okay, they want the maximum value in each of our category. We cannot something like this equals max if that does not exist in Excel. So how can we do it? What is the workaround? The workaround is to use a max and if function. That way we will be able to get it. This is an array formula. So when we want to enter the final value, we need to press Ctrl+Shift+Enter. Ctrl+Shift+Enter. This is what we need to press to when we finish writing our formula. Okay, let's do it. We say equal to max, then if. So what is our logical test? Our logical test is if our category value equates, if our category column equates our category value we have is I7, then we want the maximum value of that. Okay, let's just do this. Okay, max if, our logical test will be equal to if our category value or B2, Ctrl+Shift down arrow will log that cell equals our I7. If that is true, come on, what do we want? What we want is the value, the maximum value of our D column. So then we'll click that, Ctrl+Shift down arrow, then we lock that cell and we'll close the bracket. So if I click enter, we're not going to have a value. It will be 0 because this is an array formula. So you can see it said the maximum of fruit is 0, which is not true. But what we need to do, if I put it in edit mode to accept, we press Ctrl+Shift+Enter, then double click. And you can see if you look at my formula, we have a curly bracket at the end of it, of the formula. That shows that it's an array formula. This is how we calculate our max if function. Then the MINIF is very similar. It's equal to min, minimum value, comma, if. What is our logical text? If our category, that is our column B2, our B2, Ctrl+Shift down arrow will log this up, equals the value we have in I, in our case auto, which is I7, command, what do we want? We want the minimum value of the item sold in our column D. Then we click column D, Ctrl+Shift down arrow, F4, then we'll close the cell for formula. So to accept the answer, it's an array formula, we press Ctrl+Shift+Enter. So Well, look at it. We say MAXIF. Oh, sorry, I didn't close the second bracket. I need to close the first bracket for max, and I need to close the second bracket for if. Then Control Shift Enter, then double click to fill it down, and these are the minimum value. So this, in other words, this is MINIF. Please remember to subscribe to my channel so that whenever I upload a new video, you will have it straight away and you'll be notified where it is. And you can download this Excel workbook from my link below this video. If you have any question, do let me know so that we can treat it. Any question is welcome. Thank you very much, and you have a lovely day.